Hey, welcome back to Troll Time. I'm your host, Ivan D. Curtis, aka the Troll King. And this is the show where we talk sports, movies, or anything thought provoking. Today we'll be recapping last night's matchups in the WNBA. I'm also talking about the upcoming matchups, especially with the Commissioner's Cup going on right now. But we'll talk Kiki Irfan named Rookie of the Month. We'll discuss that a little bit. Early MVP candidates and Boredy's Bookmarks, where she's going to be spilling the tea on some things going on in the WNBA. Of course, as usual, I don't do this show alone. Today is just me and Boredy. Hey, Willie is out on assignment. He's really big in the industry, but he's a modest guy, so he don't talk about too much.
Low key.
But yeah, he's out on assignment, so it's just me and Boredy today. Boredy, what's up? What's going on with you?
Man, everything is good. A lot of things happening, and usually we're used to things happening on a Monday. But I guess this week, every day that there's not a game, some drama ends up happening. It's the WNBA. We love it.
Yeah, just hopping in real quick. Kiki Irfan named Rookie of the Month, and correct me if I'm saying her last name wrong, because I some names I know I butcher, but. Named Rookie of the Month, man, and no surprise. If you've been watching the WNBA, I mean, Kiki has been doing her thing night in and night out. No matter who she's been matched up against, it's been really a pleasure to watch the growth in her game. When we talk about the WNBA, watching her go from USC to the WNBA, it's been really a pleasure to watch. And like I said, no surprise. I mean, averaging a double-double, which is impressive. The record is 3-5 for the Washington Mystics. But hey, they've been in a lot of games, just haven't been able to close out and different things of that nature. But Kiki named Rookie of the Month, 14.6 points per game, 10 rebounds. I'll take it. Boredy, quick thoughts on Kiki's dominance as a rookie.
I every so often I say the phrase that Kim Mulkey is a basketball terrorist. On my watch list is you, Lindsay Gottlieb, because I'd be honest, I did forget who Kiki Iriafen name, obviously, but. She's somebody who I last year unfortunately never quite got integrated into the offense. And one of the biggest things that I kept on saying was high post face up game, high post face up game, high post face up game. You put her in that, she's in her more comfortable spot. She's in that range and she can create a lot better for her and her teammates. Never really materialized at USC, and I was a little bit concerned because we only saw her in flashes at Stanford. Like, what would it be at that next level and how soon she would come out and shine? And you could just tell from her first game of the season that aggressiveness and toughness. She didn't miss any of that. All right. I don't know. Like, again, USC didn't quite materialize, but it came right back as soon as she entered to the league. And she commanded herself in the offense, and the offense actually set her up in a spot to where she was actually hooping and getting good looks. And there's a reason why she's has as many double doubles at this point in her career as Tina Charles, which is crazy because Tina Charles was darn near close to like an MVP candidate like her first year in the league, right? There is a reason why Washington, even though they're on a little bit of a losing skid, they're playing much better than we thought they were. It's because of her and Sonia Citron have really stepped up. And going back all the way back to when we talked about this draft class, a lot of people, I'm not seeing them on social media. They don't have as much clout. They're obviously not as good. Lies, as we said, and we've said on the show a lot. This is a very good and deep draft class, and we've seen it right now with a lot of players shining, including Kiki. So shout out to her. I'm glad that she's finally showing everybody why exactly she had comparisons to Asia Wilson around the time that she was hooping in the tournament.
No doubt, no doubt. Early MVP candidates. Of course, it's obviously Nafisa Collier, hands down to me, would be a number one. But then, yeah, the likes of Breonna Stewart, Or some, you can throw in Sabrina Ionescu in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Hell, John Corell John. Hey, for the
Josh
list.
won Player of the Week too, so
Yeah, so just throw the whole Liberty starting five in there.
and
But
Ellie too. Why not?
right. But I like Satu Sabali. She's been getting it done with and without Alyssa Thomas, which is incredible. I really like her game. Seeing her healthy has been beautiful. I mean, because
Yeah.
she's showing that she gets it done on both ends of the court. So I like her in the running. Anybody I'm missing, chime in and just give your
Oh,
thoughts.
oh, geez, Alicia Gray.
Oh,
Alicia
yeah.
Gray. Yes, man. The dream of having hooping, especially, but her and Smesco, it's just Alicia shot at the 3-point shot, and she's become an even better creator and doing her thing defensively as well. Shout out to Alicia doing that thing, Miss Goggles herself.
Yeah, I mean, that probably would round out Caitlin Clark. I mean, she's out,
Yeah.
but she's definitely going to be in the mix. That's the only reason probably why I didn't name her in the first few names is because she's out right now. And of course,
Yeah.
recency bias, but she should be back in the next couple of games. But no, it's been a interesting first for 6 to 7 games for the WNBA and watching some of the talent in new places. Like I said, when you mentioned Satu Sabli and what she's managing to do for Phoenix, I don't think nobody predicted them to be 5-3 after their first 8 games with a completely brand new roster.
Yeah.
So that's been something to watch, and I can't wait for Alyssa Thomas to get back as well too. I think you can throw you have teams where you can throw multiple players in the hat right now because that's just how good they've been playing.
Yeah, good all-around team ball, and it's hard to choose when everybody's playing great team ball.
Yeah, before we get to Bory's bookmarks, I mean, I wanted to ask you, we got the Commissioner Cup going on right now. That's from the end on the 17th. Minnesota is undefeated. New York is undefeated.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the best team between those two right now?
Before the season started, I would have said Liberty, and it's not even close. 2 games into the season, I still would have been like Liberty, it's not too close. But because of the recent win against the Mercury in a hot contested battle with the Lynx, I do think that the Lynx are definitely strong and definitely great. I still question long term that point guard play, and I think that's something that has definitely changed when it comes to New York Liberty because you put in Natasha Cloud, and I feel like their biggest issue was Vandersloot was aging out. They didn't really have a true point guard. Sabrina can't play in that sense. But they really need somebody to push the place, and Jalen Sherrod is a little bit young compared to their timeline. So they need somebody experienced. Tosh came in, energy, defense, and she's shooting career clips from the 3-point line. The Liberty are shooting the career clips from the 3-point line. They get Maureen Johannes back, and they're a better team than last year, and they won the championship last year. I can't necessarily say that the Lynx, they did improve. They do have Natisha Heineman, so there's a slight improvement, but I don't think in terms of value, the Liberty got valuable at guard, and their guard rotation was already great, and they strengthened up even more. So I'm going to go ahead and slide with the Liberty. We see injuries happen all the time, so who knows, and I'm hoping that knocking on wood, nothing happens with that. But right now, I'm not seeing. I can see the Lynx put up a fight, but I'm not sure if they're really going to be able to tackle that behemoth of the Liberty. It's Liberty Bibberty, baby, all day.
No, I mean, I always looked at it where the Minnesota Lynx, their starting five is stout. You getting Natisha Heidelman coming off the bench. She's been productive. I mean, these last couple seasons. I mean, I think she probably could be, she could be a starter somewhere, pending on the style of play. But like I said, a lot of people give Cheryl Reeves flack, but I think she gets the max out of anybody who puts on a Lynx uniform.
Everybody, man.
So I think that's why I've always gave kind of like the edge to Minnesota. But the Liberty, on the other hand, big shout out to Jonathan Cove. I mean, they've been doing their thing far as you lose Laney Hamilton, but and then hey, no problem. You get
Hmm.
Johannes back. You got Febich, who a lot of people don't talk about,
Don't at all, man. Best
but
3D player in the league.
I'm telling you. So like when you start breaking down the Liberty, I mean, even when you talk about on the bench, I mean, the team just gets better and better and better, and I think that's where they really outdo other teams. You talking about Kennedy Burke?
Hmm.
I mean, man, like you would like I wouldn't expect her to break out the season like she has. I mean, and then you look at the Liberty, they have like Nara Sabali, she's out. A lot of they have
Yeah,
players that's out, and you don't even
they
recognize it
frozen.
because of how well everybody's playing. I'll say this: Natasha Cloud, champion, already, esteemed player coming in. I told A Willie when we talked about it, I just didn't see her coming in and it going this seamless right off the gate. Like,
Mm.
but that just shows you, I think, between Sabrina and Brianna, they don't care about who gets the shine. Like they
Ooh.
just want to win. Like so it just was the perfect fit. It was the perfect fit that I didn't see. Like I didn't
And
see it happening like that.
And I think it helps that Stewie has already led a team and been the number one player of a team. So like no ego out the way. And she comes from UConn. Obviously, UConn, you're taught to just like, who cares? Share the rock, right? So like Stewie's already been 1A by far, by far, by far. She knew coming to the Liberty, she has Jonquel and she has Sabrina. And what helps Sabrina a lot too was Sabrina being in a place trying to be the franchise place of the league, and then boom, like two MVPs come, and that takes off a lot of pressure for her, and she plays so much more free when she doesn't have a million people in her ear telling her, "Hey, you have to be this, you have to be that." You can tell that the ease is taken off her, and also too not having to have the responsibilities of a point guard too, where she could be off ball and just do the thing that she's best at, which is just shoot and just score and be effective, while also like integrating some of that like shot creating for everybody else, and of course John Quell, like she was an MVP for years in Connecticut and nobody paid attention to Connecticut. So like you have three players who are super humble. Tosh herself is a humble player. And that's why I give them also an edge from the Lynx too, because also I forgot to mention like Jessica Shepard. She's also been a great addition for Minnesota. But you have three players who could be leaders in their own right for teams and a whole bunch of other players who can be the second best third player on their team all in one roster versus with the Lynx, it's like Fee, and you have a lot of like two A's, two B's, but not as many MVPs as the Liberty have, and I feel like that'll hold them over when it gets to crunch time for them.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, Boredy's bookmarks. You was talking about some things offline
Ooh.
before we actually went live. I'm gonna let you have this part and inform us on what you know about different things going on around the league.
Yeah, so this is something that just came out because it's the WNBA, and there's always something spicy or crazy happening in the WNBA. We're used to it happening on the Monday, but this time it's getting late. It's getting lit on a Wednesday, apparently. All right. I must have a 2-for-1 wing special or something like that because everybody's wilding right now. The thing that just came out recently was the Storm is under investigation right now by the league. Obviously, the Storm have had some allegations, not even allegations. They've had an assertion from former star Jewel Lloyd about bullying practices. Other people like Mercedes Russell, I believe, are mentioned or have tangentially said things about that. This new thing popping up for the Storm, there's a little bit of question as to what is happening with that and if it's related to star Lee Yuru, who recently decided to request a trade as of today too. So in the Seattle Storm, there's a lot going on right now, right? shout out to, I believe, Howard Mangdell. He just came out with a report. Obviously, people are implicating like what's happening with Noel, what's happening with the coaching staff, what's happening with Seattle. But Mangdell just reported that the suit or investigation that the WNBA is putting on the Seattle Storm is related to coaching staff, assistant coach in particular, cursing at a storm at an Aces player during their matchup on Sunday. And obviously Mendel basically just said, "Hey, chances are more than likely it was profanity from that coach directed at Jewel Lloyd, who, if you listen to her podcast, she talked a little bit about the fact that unfortunately, like she's had some issues with the Storm, right? uh the Storm staff allegedly did not believe that Jewel was injured when she complained that she was, and she was having issues with that. There was also implications about quote unquote it's hard to work when your boss is lying to you. That was said during the podcast by a trainer of Jewel Lloyd. So and Jewel Lloyd has said on that podcast that she was mentally, physically, and everythingly exhausted by being in that Storm locker room. Obviously, she filed a formal complaint. It didn't end up going anywhere legally, but it seems to be like the investigation is a continuance of that situation that happened in the Storm building that was brewing or had been sitting in the water since December, and is has nothing to do, or at least right now, as we know, doesn't have anything to do with Lee LaRue. Apparently, according to Roberta Rodriguez, she says that Lee allegedly thought that she would have a lot more minutes and was going to forego playing with the Chinese national team to stay in the U.S. to play with the Storm if she had an adequate amount of minutes. But since she already denied that and she's not getting the minutes, that's where a trade request was submitted. So more to come. We'll see what's happening and who's doing what and when and who's really telling the truth, right? Obviously, unfortunately, when there's locker room issues, it can be a little bit of toughs, and there are groups and cliques. But Seattle, as far as we know, according to the report by Mandela, shout out to him and also to Rodriguez too. Lee's situation seems to be separate as far as now, and the investigation has to do with a continuance with some disputes that Jewel had with Seattle. But again, this is new. Everybody's still figuring things out, so we'll see what happens as time goes on. But Boredy's bookmarks, the Storm. There's a lot going girl. I hate it. I'm a Storm fan. Why can't any of my teams be normal?
Right. Now, before we get out of here, we're just going to recap last night's games really quick, and then talk about Thursday's matchups. Like I had mentioned before, these are Commissioner Cups games going on right now. If you are not familiar with the WNBA, the Commissioner's Cups is a series of games, and they take the best two teams out of it, and they compete for a nice prize pool.
Okay.
And last year, the Minnesota Lynx won. So it's going to be looking like they're trying to repeat. But anyway, last night's matchup, first Indiana Fever, Washington Mystics. Indiana Fever won 85-76. Kelsey Mitchell got back to her scoring ways with 24 points on 7 of 14 shooting. Lexi Hull was really impressive last night with 14 points as a starter, 2 for 4 from 3, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. And then off the bench, DeWanna Bonner had 9 points. And Dantas had 8 points early, but played solid. Had 8 points, 4 rebounds. It was a team effort, but the real story of the night for them was Ari McDonald. They got the call. They were looking for somebody to facilitate. Yeah. That's forever iconic.
Forever.
She got the call, came in. They needed a facilitator. Played steady. Didn't hurt them. 7 points, 5 assists, 3 steals. That's all you need, because when you look at the combination, this is why it's a team game at the end of the day. And sometimes when you don't have your star player and Caitlin Clark, when you combine what they got from Sid Colson and Ari McDonald, that's all you need. From that position, they gave you 14 points, 8 assists, You know, didn't turn the ball over at a high rate, which is one thing I want people to understand in the W about turnovers. Everybody turns the ball over. Like if you watch the games and you look at whether it's individual or whether you look at team, it's high turnovers. And one of the reasons why I always say it's high turnovers because guess what? They don't play phantom defense like the NBA. They're actually competing every second on every possession. Nothing is free. Nothing is earned. I mean, nothing is free. Everything is earned. So you're going to have turnovers and you're going to have bad shooting because they're contesting and competing on everything. That's my quick spill on that. But anyway, flipping it over to Washington, had a good effort in Kiki at 20 points, 9 rebounds on 9-11 shooting. Brittany Sykes, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 7-14 shooting. Sonia Citron, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 5 for 8. I just love watching that rookie duo play. It don't matter win or lose. I love them. And then my girl Shakira Austin, 10 points, 4 or 5 shooting from the field, 3 rebounds. Pretty competitive game. I think Indiana, that third quarter was pivotal for them. They outscored the Washington by 10, kind of, got control of the game and closed it out. Washington, they're going to compete and give you a good effort each and every time. But the Fever are now 1-2 since Caitlin Clark hasn't played. It was mentioned that she was going to be out 5 games. So we got 2 more and counting. And I say we because anybody knows I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. Hey, it is what it is. So I'm ready for her to get back. But I don't want them to rush because that injury is not something to play with. Because I actually had that injury a time or two in my early 30s. So, that was the end of my adult league career.
And it pops back up, right? It pops back up several times, if you work through it too hard.
Yeah, so, like I say, other matchups that took place last night. Boredy, did you want to mention anything about that game?
I will say it sucks that the winning percentage of Mystics isn't better because then Brittany Sykes would definitely be on that MVP shortlist, right? Despite sometimes shooting the team out some games, she's trying.
Hey, but let me say this real quick about Brittany Sykes though. Her shooting percentage sometimes is not good, but if you watch her shot selection is good. She just misses shots, and I meant to say that to somebody who commented about a time where she didn't play versus when she does play. She gets great. She's a great shot creator. She gets great shots. She just doesn't always make them. So if you look, she may shoot 20 times and only hit 7 of them. But I guarantee half of those shots that she missed were good shots. They just didn't go in. Go ahead, Boredy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not like Arike or like Jewel Lloyd or sometimes Kelsey Plum where sometimes they're shooting shots and it's it's not even have you ever hit that shot because they have, to be fair, but it's is this the best time for that shot? No, Sykes is actually hooping, which is why if they actually won, she would be an MVP. But regardless, you talked about that 2-woman game that both Kiki and Sonia have. There was a good pass that Sonia had that was right in the money, and then Kiki put it up. But I will say, going back to Indiana and Ari McDonald, that's the power of a pure point guard, and we don't have a lot of those in the league, and it makes so much of a difference. You saw what happened the previous 2 games versus this one. There's better ball movement for everybody. There's better actions happening for everybody. People are actually taking advantage of mismatches and actually driving. There's fluidity in offense that you need in order to be successful. You don't have Caitlin Clark, but you do have a better offense when you have a point guard there that's leading rather than Sid for 2 quarters. And to be fair, Sid's best attribute is her defense, not necessarily her passing. So Ari has grown a lot in that regard since her Arizona days and was still great at that in Arizona. So shout out to her with that. But yeah.
Yeah, and with that, the Fever are now 3-4, and the Mystics are 3-5. The next matchup wasn't too bad. I think it was only good for a quarter. Phoenix led. Let me tell you that Phoenix led 23-19 after the first quarter. Minnesota they have to be the most irritating team to play because they start off every game slow. And then they get better and better as the game goes on. And that was an example of it last night. They went on to win 88-65. They improved to 8-0 and 4-0 at home, while the Mercury fall to 5-3. While they're 1-2 on the road. Nafisa Collier, 18 points, 11 rebounds, double-double with 5 assists on 8-13 shooting, 1 steal. Kayla McBride is back like she never left, 13 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, steady game from her. And the one thing I like about her and Courtney Williams is they play good off each other. If Courtney got it going, they let her go. If Kayla got it going, they let her go. And that's why I say they have a sturdy starting 5. Elena Smith, 13 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 or 4 from 3. But the star of the night was Natisha Heidelman, 18 points off the bench, 7 of 10 shooting, 2 for 4 from 3, 3 rebounds as well. And when we talked about, like you just mentioned about Sid, one of the best attributes for Heidelman is her defense, but she can put it in the bucket. And she's a tough cover when you talk about a second unit guard. Most second unit guards are not that good. Not as good as she is. And she's a star in her role. And that's one thing I like about Minnesota. Nobody really plays outside of themselves. If Bridget got it going, they anybody who got it going, they let them go. And then Nafisa, she'll fill in wherever. It's like the bat phone. If you need whatever you need, that's what she's gonna provide.
I'll save the day. Put my cape on, Yeah.
On the other end, Satu Sabali, without her running mate, Alyssa Thomas, she had 15 points, 8 rebounds, 6 of 16 shooting. It was a tough night. I mean, I on my bingo card, I had all the home teams winning last night, which is they did. But it would have been interesting if Alyssa Thomas had played. I think I'm not saying. I know it's bigger than a 20 plus point difference. I definitely could see more of a competitive game because she's the engine to that Mercury team on both sides of the basketball. Other than that, Lexi held 16 points off the bench. But just pure dominance by Minnesota. Seattle and Dallas. That was a very close game. Went down to the wire. Seattle was down and fought to come back and ended up taking home a victory at home. They're now 4-4, which is Seattle is puzzling because I think they're better than a 4-4 team. But they always have these type of starts. The last few seasons, that's the way it's been. But Gabby Williams, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Other than that, it was a collective effort. Nneka Ogwumike, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 2 for 2 from 3 with 2 blocks. And then you had Erica Wheeler, which is that she knows how to play basketball now in Seattle. We're just gonna erase the whole season she had last year in Indiana because
doesn't exist. I don't know who you're talking about.
But 11 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 for 8 from the field. I mean, hats off to her. I mean, I'm making a joke out of it because I'm like, damn, where was this at? She would get in the game last year, and it was like, what's going on?
Gee, would you have put money that she would be one of the best players for the Seattle Storm? That sounds like blasphemy if you would have said that during the offseason, especially considering all the other people on the Storm roster.
See, now what I was thinking was that the game that she had against the Aces, where she scored 20, I'm like, okay, I let that sit. I'm like, okay, is this going to be a fluke? And now it's not been a fluke. She's been consistent coming off the bench. So, I mean, hey, like I said, hats off to her. I'm gonna make my jokes, but hats off to her. On the other side of the court, Dallas Wings without Paige Beckers. Dejanay Carrington led them in scoring with 22 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 for 4 from 3 with 1 steal, and then you have Maisha Hines Allen, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. And then Maddie Segrist, 11 points, 9 rebounds. Dallas is a team that's 1-8. I think they're better than a 1-8 team. But they have some things to figure out. I know it's been made on social media with the press conference with the coach. They're not very engaging. And we talked about it in our chat. Organizations, when you get put together a roster that has some veterans and some outspoken veterans, and you mix it in with an incoming superstar and Paige Beckers, you have to have some leadership that's going to lead. Like, I didn't think that was a team that was set up to get a brand new coach. Like, they needed somebody established.
And if they're a rookie coach, then they have to, and you could talk about her X's and O's game, but when it comes to like personality and like in her intentionality with personalities, if you're going to have a rookie head coach, have it be somebody like Teaspoon, who has a very commanding presence, has obviously played in the league, and has worked with a lot of personalities, whether it be in the WNBA side or NBA side. I'll look up his history right now, but I believe that Hosier, what do they call him? Gay Jesus, Hosier coach, Hosier the coach, youth pastor. I believe USC is.
Yeah, he was assistant coach at USC before taking the job. But
I don't know much about his other head coaching thing. I'll look it up right now.
But yeah, it's just one of those situations where you need somebody who can deal with the multiple personalities they have. When you talk about McCowan, you talk about Carrington, you're talking about Nalissa Smith. No player on this roster is really known to be a leader of a team. And when you don't have that on the roster, you definitely need that type of command on the sideline. And go ahead.
His history, you talk about leadership and commanding. His whole history, he worked as a director of basketball ops at William and Mary's. He's worked as a video coordinator, a defensive coordinator for both the Connecticut Sun and the Sparks, and been an assistant coach for USC. This is his first head coaching job. So, interesting choice to go there with so many veterans.
Yeah, I think we have to look somewhere inside the Dallas organizations and check out the bloodlines somewhere.
I think, what's interesting, he worked closely with Kurt Miller while he was there under Connecticut. And so I think that's where that happens, actually.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me when I was coaching, when I coached on on a few staffs, I always stayed for a long time. I never bounced around, passed up some head coaching jobs because my thing was I wasn't just trying to coach to just be coaching. And because every situation is not a good situation for you. And when you trying to just take a head coaching job, you have to be sturdy enough to hold your own, or you have to have some bona fide assistant coaches. And because every head coach is not they're not always good at X's and O's. Like, that may not be the big part about it, but the assistants handle that. Like, whatever you're, basically what I'm saying, whatever you're lacking as a head coach, it has to be fulfilled through your assistants. If not, then damn, the whole staff is lost. Like, so, and I learned that from some great head coaches that I served under, as well as me being a head coach. But serving under great head coaches, you realize they know how to delegate, and they know what each assistant coach's purpose is. And I think, that's still at that level. Like, if they didn't need to be coached, they wouldn't have them. So you got to have some good ones. Especially, like I said, this is not a young team, like, at all. Aside from, some of the rookies that's on the team. I mean, this is a pretty veteran-led team. So we'll see what's going on with that. Previewing tomorrow night's game before we get out of here. Both games you can find on Prime Video. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got the Liberty in Washington, and then at 10 p.m. you have Golden State and Phoenix. Such a good feeling to say. I mean, it's funny when I'm saying Golden State,
Yeah.
but of course, just real quick, I'm gonna go with the Liberty. It's kind of hard not to. And then the Phoenix and Golden State game could be really interesting. We'll see tomorrow what's the status of players and different things like that. But I'm going to go with Phoenix since they're at home. But Golden State is another team that puts up a fight. They don't lay down. I don't think any team in the W lays down. I mean, if I'm being honest. But they're very competitive. It's a new team. So still trying to, find identity. I think Veronica Burton has been doing an outstanding job. Willie he fought tried to sell me on her last year. But he was saying that Connecticut wasn't a good spot for her, the way she was being used. But I've been enjoying watching her play for Golden State. And then Kayla Thornton, she's been, showing more of her game. But I like her because she's showing that she can play on her own. But also when she played with the Liberty, she was a star in her role. So it's just been fun to watch. And then it's the rookie for Golden State that I really like.
Saloon. Oh, man, Saloon is hooping, man. Dribble moves. You got rebounding defense. She's super athletic. And you remember we were talking about the roster cuts. We were like, I'm not sure about Saloon. Man, we weren't sure. Now we know.
Yeah, only 12 points and 7 rebounds, shooting almost 38% from 3. She's been fun to watch too. So, and definitely like looking at matchup. I want to talk about Phoenix real quick before I get your thoughts about these games, because Phoenix, on the other hand, you have players like Lexi Held. One of my my personal favorites, Catherine Westbell, because she's from the Miami Valley, just like myself. And so I personally root for her. I say her and my daughter played together when they were younger. So I got to see she's always been like that. Like, because literally, her and my daughter started playing together when my daughter was in the 5th grade, but Catherine was in the 4th grade. And the way they would schedule they league games, the coach, he was a really good coach. Brian Welch is his name. He was really good. But the way he scheduled their league games, they would play 5th grade games, and then they would play 6th grade. So they was playing up. But Catherine was playing 2 grades up and still doing the same thing. Like, so and that's how good they were. So that's how good she was. Like, but the team was really good. But so I got the chance to see her firsthand way before now. But root for the Phoenix Mercury. But Haley Jones has been at it.
Just got signed. Shout out to her.
Yeah. Monique Akoa Makani, love her game. Another rookie that does it all. I really like watching this team play, and especially when Alyssa Thomas is playing with this group. Like, I really think that they're a contender, and no telling what happen if Kalia Copper comes back healthy, 100% can go. This team is going to be really something to watch. So I just wanted to give them some roses real quick. Any words about these two matchups that we got tomorrow, Bordy?
I'm worried about their guard rotation when it comes to Mercury. So if Monique is playing a lot more in Catherine, I love it, right? But they just got Haley Jones. Hopefully she can get back. And then also, unfortunately, and I'm hoping that she's fine. Megan McConnell, which it was supposed to be a great week for TJ McConnell and that group, the Pacers obviously going to the finals. And then Megan, her first game as a pro, she got some minutes. And only a couple minutes in, she ended up getting a really serious knee injury, it looked like. So hopefully everything is good with her and she is fine. But Phoenix's guard rotation is a little bit interesting. So I would like to see, especially with AT, AT's basically going to be the point guard anyway. I do love their intensity and how much they play when AT's on the floor. So as long as she's healthy, it's a really fun team to watch. The Valkyries, we talked about Saloon, she's good. They just have a whole bunch of hustlers. The only problem is they don't have that player to get them over the hump in close situations. It's kind of like the Mystics last year, where they were always fighting, but they couldn't get over the hump. So we'll see with the development of Saloon how comfortable she gets in. Also, Carlate when she comes back and she feels healthy, how that changes that team. But Bria Hartley, and who else that we just mentioned? We mentioned them at the top of the show. I can't remember their name right now, but they're examples of like delayed but not denied. Sometimes your first couple of stints in the W, you're not playing as many minutes, you get cut, you're not playing at all. But we've seen a resurgence of a lot of players. Temi Fagbenle. We talked about Febic. We talked about VB. So many different players who've like been cut and had to like earn it internationally, and now they're playing. Now they're hooping. So there's a lot of different players. Ari McDonald. There you go.
Yeah,
She was just cut
I
recently.
figured that's who you was talking about. I was gonna let you talk it through.
Yeah, well, I found it. I found it eventually. Eric McDonald, and you know that is somebody who we've seen like not get as many minutes, but we know what she's capable of. So everybody who says if you're on a WNBA roster, you're not good enough, maybe in other leagues, not in this league. I'm telling you, okay. In other leagues, maybe not in this one. The previous matchup you were talking about, the first slate of tomorrow. What is that?
Talking about the Liberty and the Mystics.
Oh wait, can you say that again? Oh,
The
my
Liberty and the Mystics.
Liberty. Oh yeah, the Liberty, not even close. But this will be interesting to see what's happening with the Mystics and how good they are, how close they keep it against the Liberty, because the Liberty has been smoking a lot of teams, except for Connecticut, oddly enough. So we will see how. Well, no, not Connecticut. I'm thinking about the Minnesota Lynx, but they've been the Fever. The Fever is the only one that kept them really close. So I want to see how the Mystics play in this one because I don't expect them to win, but I do want them to keep it close because they're a fun team to watch, even if they don't get dubs.
Agreed, agreed. You got anything you want to mention? Anything that you may forgot in the beginning or anything like that before we get out of here?
Before we get out of here, shout out to the Atlanta Dream, somebody to look out for. And Connecticut, I'm interested to see what happens now they signed Draylon Brown. I don't anticipate them to be a good team, but when you have Sanaya and Anisha get more comfortable in their scoring roles, you needed somebody else who was going to score. And so this gives JB a perfect opportunity to shine. She didn't really have it on the wings when she did get sepsis. So I'm interested to see what she does on this team that just desperately needs somebody who can create their own shot. And she has the total green light because only Tina Charles can do that on that team as of now. So I'm very excited to see what Jalen Brown does. And hopefully she comes out pretty well because last year in Dallas preseason, I had high hopes, so I'm hoping it's just as high.
Gotcha. And I don't really have anything, man. And you know, just you know, if you got people out there that you love and you care about, just check up on them. You know, shoot them a text, give them a phone call, let them know how you feel or what you're thinking about them or whatever. I think in this world, I just think all the time. You know, I love the digital space. I'm a big fan of social media, obviously, but it's in a world where it's easy to hate, man. I just try to appreciate the good things in every situation, whether it's sports, whether it's movies, or just any things in general. I just always try to find the good in it, and of course the laughter. That's always first and foremost.
Always.
But yeah, just do that. Brighten up somebody's day, and then internally, I hope it makes you feel good inside as well. And as usual, remember we are here to laugh, show love, promote, talk sports, movies, joke, and troll. Catch us on the next episode.